This is the marketplace. Let's turn attention to the very first story. The Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry has criticized recent utility tariff hikes and calls on government to consider granting some exemptions to industries to cushion them against the impact. President of the Chamber, Dr. Nana P.J. Dankawoso I, tells Joy Business failure to either exempt or provide rebates to cushion these industries could disrupt government's industrialization agenda as cost of operations, goods and services would increase.
We need to sit down to look at that. So maybe the 2020 budget must look at that. So we will push it to the minister for further discussions, how we can look at that. If there is any form of subsidy, we need to look at that. Not physical funds given to them, but there could be some rebates. And I think we need to do that. The only way to go is to industrialize. Because we can't sit here to buy toothpick and all those things. If you buy any import item, it means that you have created employment for somebody in his company or in his country. And we have a lot of youth coming up from the university, they don't have work to do. So if you are not careful, taking care of the little companies, or yes, then it becomes very, and they are at embryonic stages. So how does the government come in to support them? We need to look at it once again, seriously. We should not just take it like a normal increase, so 10% across board. No, that shouldn't be fair.
So the new utility tariffs announced by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission took effect yesterday amidst some mixed reactions. Joy Business's Fred Duho visited some businesses at Accra New Town, which are heavily dependent on electricity, to ascertain the impact of the new rates on their operations, and has come through with this report.
In the wake of the recent hikes in tariff, we hit the streets, and here we are at Accra New Town to engage with business owners to know the impact this current hikes in tariff is going to have on their businesses.
Kakra Goodman is one of the printing house operators.
There is a trend going on in the printing industry that we are gathering ourselves. They will hear from us.
He tells me the industry has been affected by increases in tariffs over the years. He lamented the current 8% hike on water and electricity will worsen their plight amidst fierce competition.
Light issue, whenever there is an increment of electricity bills and water bills and so forth and so on, we complain a lot, but with time we get used to. The job is not coming. How can you pay your utilities if you are not doing as you came? The whole since morning you came, we are just standing.
How much do you used to buy ordinarily on a daily or weekly or monthly basis to run your machines?
5 days, we buy 50 Ghana for 5 days. So monthly, it's like 300 Ghana, if I'm not mistaken.
On his part, Francis Tai Ashi of Ash Impression Business Center, producers of wedding or other assorted printing materials, says though the increase in electricity tariffs will affect his work, the stable power supply being enjoyed so far is better than the load shedding period which almost halted his business.
It really affecting our business, but I hope truly it will be okay. It will be okay, because I think it's better than the doomsday time. It's better than the doomsday time, because doomsday time, I remember a lot of my colleagues who are into printing, they shut down their press and they travel outside.
Walter Amenume is a worker who also shared some thoughts.
Let me say from 4 to 5 years now, the business has been slow simply because of increment in electricity, the Chinese influx. It has short, and our materials too have short because of the dollar rates and things like that. So it's really affecting the business, and the job is not coming as it ought to. So we are facing challenges in these areas.
They are complaining about utility tariffs, and they are complaining about fierce competition in the printing industry from foreign and some giant local businesses. With me, Fred Duho, for Joy Business.
Deputy Minister of Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, has called on local businesses to support government's agenda towards shaping entrepreneurship in the country. He was speaking at the opening of the Cosmos Innovation Center Incubation Hub in Accra.
Chair, government expects that oil and gas companies will complement our efforts at creating opportunities in value-added industrialization such as agriculture, information technology, and manufacturing. The agrotech and booster models which are implemented by the Innovation Center are therefore strongly aligned with government's Planting for Food and Jobs program, the Youth in Agriculture program, and the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation program, implemented by the Ministries of Food and Agriculture and Business Development, respectively. We know that your business is to find and produce oil. But we also know that as oil companies, you have innovative technology and business models that can make every venture a success, be it in agriculture, manufacturing, education, or music.
Let's turn attention now to the oil and gas sector. Chief Executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors Ghana, Senyor Hosi, has confirmed payment of all energy sector debts owed the bulk oil distributors. According to him, government has cleared the debts together with some interests that accrued over the period. He's optimistic that the remaining interest on the debt will be paid by the end of the month in line with plans by government.
The total principal portion of the debt has been paid by the former government and the current government. The current government finished the payments last year. We are finalizing the negotiations. We finalized, really. There are a few more things to touch on. Some part of the interest. They've even paid a full portion of the interest, some part of it. And we have another part that's left. Not much. I think maybe about just under $50 million. It's big money, but for oil, when you say this, that it is not much, But I think that should be resolved in the next month, and then a chunk of the legacy issues are dealt with. But the subsidies that keep coming on this year from premix and residual fuel oil are the ones that will be quite pertinent going forward.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors says government must initiate investigation into what led to the loss of more than $1.6 million in petroleum taxes to the state between 2016 and 2018. Speaking at the launch of the 2018 industry report on the downstream petroleum sector, CEO of the Chamber, Senyor Hosi, said the underreported revenue is evidence that some illicit trade is still going on. According to the report, collection of taxes for the period under review witnessed a significant increase due to the implementation of the special petroleum tax. Despite the increase, Senyor Hosi believes some unapproved routes are still used for fuel trading, which is against the laws of the country.
I think that it is a well-networked act of thievery that's going on in this country. It's a very well-networked with politicians, with officials, including BDCs possibly and OMCs possibly, all of us. Who is going to carry the thing? It is us, the industry people. Who are the ones supposed to police the thing? The GRA. Who are the ones who call people to tell that release this, release? These are politicians. So it's a very serious underground petroleum economy that we are creating as a country. And we are endangering the economic sustainability of this country by allowing it to fester. The president set up a committee to work on it. I'm looking for the people who are going to be caught. What we have done this time is not just estimates. We have taken official data to prove. So if we can now prove that 2.79 billion has been lost and unaccounted for, why shouldn't government be taking steps to recover them and arrest, prosecute the culprits? If you read the report, there are a number of things in there that need to be criminalized. They are criminal, but they don't take action properly. There's something called the lower fuel marker. The lower fuel marker indicates that somebody brought an untaxed product into his tank at a filling station. The MPA will catch the people, but the actions they take are just administrative and regulatory.
And in another development, industry players in the downstream petroleum sector have suggested to government to take its hands off operations of the Tema oil refinery. This, they believe, will make the company more productive and reduce the persistent margins lost every year. CEO of the chamber, Senyor Hossi, in an interview after the launch of the 2018 industry, reported renewed the call, saying the coming on stream of some major refineries in Africa, including the Dangote refinery, will render TOR inefficient if private sectors are not allowed to take over the company. The 2018 industry report gives an overview of how the downstream petroleum sector has performed in the previous year and gives recommendations for improvement. The report indicates that the Tema oil refinery has not been viable as expected during the year 2018, a situation attributed to government interference. According to the chief executive of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Senyor Hossi, the growing petroleum industry needs a refinery operated by a private investor, hence the call for privatization.
TOR is not in this situation just by some. It's because of the governance issues in there. It's politics that has made TOR what it is. But that story can change and must change. To really get capital in there, to turn it around in a sustainable way, you need some private or commercial orientation in the management of its affairs. You can't achieve that when you have politicians running the place. Politicians running the board or its entire system. The current TOR MD is doing very well. He's working hard to turn things around, but the confidence that's required will come with some private sector participation in it. Maybe a concession, possibly. We've discussed a possible lease arrangement or an outright divestiture.
He's been speaking about the implications of the coming on stream of Dangote refinery, which is expected to be the largest oil refinery in West Africa.
Dangote is dealing with a $12 billion humongous project. We don't need that much to turn around TOR. If you have the management right, maybe you probably will need a tenth of that or probably a fifth of that. You know, you may need probably a lot more engineering analysis to come to that conclusion. Desulfurizers and all that to make it modern. Because there's cost that's already in there. It's like this house, you can't do anything about it, you've built it already. So you're thinking of how to occupy it, right? But when you're now going to build it, then start thinking about, will I get a rental income or not get a rent? But here you are, you've built it already, so you might as well just rent it. You understand? So once we have, what we have gives us a certain step a bit ahead. And we have a market here. If we don't try and take control over the market now, and Dangote is the one who's going to take over this market.
According to the industry report, the energy sector levy has reduced the TOR debt to about 1,673 million cedis as of August 2019. Ghana says poor management of the environment is impacting negatively on living standards. The student wing at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology cites huge government spending on roads and other infrastructure being destroyed by perennial floods. President Roxanne Akolache believes such investments at the expense of livelihood initiatives impact negatively on incomes. Nanaya Jima was at the awareness creation event and filed this report.
Arocha points out food security is under threat due to climate change, as rising temperatures take a toll on organisms with attendant consequences for humans. The group wants laws on sanitation and environment strengthened to punish offenders. They want intensified effort to reduce impact of changing rainfall patterns caused by deforestation.
They should use the laws are there, we know there are laws. We can't implement more laws now. We want the existing ones to deal with the people. We can't work in a dead environment actually. There are lots of things that are going on, and if we don't put a stop to it, it's going to affect us. I would like to give an example. During our long vacations at OAB, on the project, if you see the condition of the water is very bad, and the condition is getting worse and worse. Fishermen are crying, the diversity is down. The water is being filtered with rubbish and everything from all angles. So it's very important to our existence, and we would like them to take actions.
The students went on a street march to distribute educational materials to the public. They presented separate petitions to Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensah and Kumasi Mayor Osei Esibe Entry. The mayor catalogued initiatives for improving sanitation to restore Kumasi's Garden City tag.
Immediately I took office, with the help of my administrators and with the help of the assembly, we established and set up a campaign, Operation Keep the City Clean and Green. All the river bodies, we've targeted all the river bodies, and we've planted more than 838 trees. 838,000. Within the shortest time, this is what we've been able to do. Within the shortest time. So now, I don't want to waste your time. Let us walk small and see something for yourself.
Arocha, as part of sensitization, has teamed up with local communities to plant over 1,000 trees.
Now, Ghana's mango industry could be wiped out completely within the next 5 years if a bacterial black spot disease is not controlled as a national agricultural emergency. Leading fruit processing company Blue Skies gave the caution on the back of severe drop in mango exports to the EU market since 2016. Before then, the country was making close to 100,000 euros from the export of mangoes on a monthly basis. But the figure has plunged to only 10,000 euros, mainly due to the bacterial black spot disease. Head of Public Affairs of Blue Skies, Alistair Jimate, warns government must act now or never. He was speaking to Joy Business at the sidelines of a business visit by the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Charles Aite has more.
The business tour by the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry to Blue Skies brought out some challenges that major fruit processing factories in the country face. With a working force of 3,500, Blue Skies exports 800,000 tons of pineapples a week and 700,000 tons of mangoes every week. Head of Public Affairs of Blue Skies, Alistair Jimate, tells me the production of mangoes had dropped significantly due to the surge of the bacterial black spot that has ravaged acres of mango farms in Ghana.
Last season, about almost 70 to 80% of mango farmers in the southern sector lost all their production. And it is gradually climbing up to the middle belt. And the challenge is that we are not finding any solution to it. All the experiments that have been done, some have not been very sustainable.
Joy Business engaged the chairman of Blue Skies Ghana, Seth K. Day, who is advocating more funds be pumped into research to cushion food processing factories against diseases.
We need government involvement in the area of injection of technology. That is research and development. We need to grow more fruit. So there must be a way for government to stimulate, to encourage farmers to grow more fruit.
In all, members of the chamber, mostly exporters, observed the production value chain of Blue Skies. The tour also took them to HPW Fresh Company, another food processing company. It also exposed members to energy-saving methods being used to vaporize products for exports. President of the chamber, Nana Ampege Dankawoso I, stated the chamber will be channeling most of these challenges to the right authorities for action to be taken.
Just to see what they are doing, if there are any challenges that we have to champion to government, and to see how best we can also improve in the system and make sure that they can, they'll be able to expand their production
Even as government has set out the Planting for Food and Jobs program under the agricultural setting, management of Blue Skies say that various industrialization modules under the agricultural sector must be prepped up to increase yields and, of course, make the sector much more attractive to prospective investors. I'm Charles Aite for Joy Business.
Now, furniture-making company Mecca Africa says it will establish a processing plant in Ghana as part of its long-time agenda of doing business in the country. The company says this will help create employment for the teeming unemployed youth. Although the company currently manufactures and ships its products from Lebanon, the assembling is done by Ghanaians. Managing Director of Mecca Africa, Cyril Mehana, said this on the sidelines of the official opening of the company's showroom in Accra.
The event was attended by some clients and prospective clients of Mecca Africa to have a feel of its unique quality in kitchen furniture. The Lebanese company was established in 1967 and is owned by the Mecca family, with most of its materials coming from Europe. As a leader in kitchen cabinets and furniture manufacturing, Mecca is seeking to open a manufacturing plant here in Accra in the future. Cyril Mehana is the managing director of Mecca Africa.
All of our staff now is Ghanaian, except for me, the managing director. I'm Lebanese because it's a family company and I'm running this business. But all our staff are Ghanaians. Our project manager is Ghanaian. Our installers are Ghanaians. We train them ourselves. We give them our expertise, and then we let them develop all the rest by themselves. And the Ghanaians are people that we can work with. They are very capable. And the next step is not only to have a showroom here in Accra, but also to have a showroom in Kumasi, a showroom in Takoradi, and also an assembly plant, and most probably a manufacturer later. And all this will employ Ghanaians, so we'll have big opportunities for Ghanaians in this country.
With Ghana being its first market in West Africa, the company is looking forward to expanding to other West African markets. Patrick Mahana is the director of Mecca Africa.
So subcontract here on the Ghanaian market the worktops with the local company Stone Depot, who's a partner actually, and he's been with us since the beginning. So we managed to offer a complete solution to the customers, from the wood, the kitchen cabinets, to the tops and the appliances. So it's a complete kitchen that they can have. Well, we hope that Ghana is going to be a first step, and it's going to lead to some other markets. When we studied the West Africa part, we went to Abidjan, we went to Dakar. So we're trying now to take the opportunity of the base in Accra to jump in the other country around Ghana.
And that's it for the Marketplace. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji. Have a good afternoon.